Good, snowy, slippery Friday, everyone. Welcome to Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com. I'm forecaster Robert Smith, and we're providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. And this is the forecast, the video forecast discussion for Friday, the 9th of January already, 2015. And the light snow has spread into the area early this morning before sunrise, and it continues to come down in a few areas. A little bit more moderate snow around Central Park, light snow at LaGuardia, snowing at Kennedy, light snow at Newark, Teterboro, flurries now out on Islip, Long Island, as the snow hasn't gotten there yet. Light snow at Newburgh up the Hudson Valley, also Poughkeepsie and Albany reporting light snow. And it's snowing still at Teterboro and Caldwell, Morristown, Sussex, Trenton. Wrightstown has some snow. Philadelphia has flurries right now, and Scranton still another band of light snow moving in. Temperatures this morning under the clouds and snow are a little bit warmer, still on the cold side in the upper teens across the interior sections of the Hudson Valley, into the low and mid-20s around the New Jersey, New York City metropolitan area, and the upper 20s to lower 30s out on eastern Long Island. Montauk Point reporting 40 degrees this hour. The winds are out of the west at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. They're starting to freshen up to near 20 miles an hour, with gusts approaching 41 miles per hour at Montauk Point, 31 mile per hour wind gusts out on Islip and Shirley. And we've got a couple of disturbances moving through the region this morning, and that's obviously with the snow. It's impacting the roadways and travel this morning as well, with visibilities down to a half, a quarter, and 3/4 of a mile. The wind chill indices obviously making it feel like it's in the teens right now. Taking a look at the meso analysis this morning, the latest data coming in, a little bit of an area of low pressure here, or a trough actually, a little upper mid-level disturbance here at the surface actually, and another one back in here, Pennsylvania. So it's providing a lot of lift right now, and if we went up to the 850 millibar level and take off the radar here, we can see our shortwave disturbance here over Pennsylvania and the isotherms, which are entirely packed here, which means there's a lot of lifting going on in the atmosphere, and that's enhancing the thermal gradient here, and obviously that's enhancing the snow ratios as well. Morning surface chart from WeatherRoanoke.com. A digital atmosphere shows the snow over the New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia metropolitan area. It's now beginning to wax and wane. To the south here, there's a few more bands of snow. Here's our disturbance here, our trough axis, or mid-level disturbance, as well as surface reflection here moving through Pennsylvania. And here's the Arctic front. Here we can see that the cold air is overtaking the warmer sector here. So by the time this comes in later this morning and afternoon, it means just a refreshment of cold Arctic air for tonight and tomorrow. Watches, warnings, and advisories. First, we do have that period of a band of moderate to locally heavy snow for most regions moving east across portions of the lower Hudson Valley this morning, southwestern Connecticut, the New York City metropolitan area, as we showed you, in western Long Island. Between now and 9 a.m., the snow will accumulate quickly on roads, and obviously locations within this band could receive a quick inch of accumulation in just a half hour. Plus, the winds are gusting to 25 to 35 miles per hour, will result in brief whiteout conditions, causing very hazardous travel. Back here towards the Delaware Bay, we still have our low water levels on the tidal Delaware River through this evening, and the westerly winds in the low levels of water on the tidal Delaware River through this evening. The low water levels will cause navigation problems around the time of low tide on the river and some of the tidal tributaries. Low tide at Reedy Point occurs at 8:35 tonight. Philadelphia at 11:15 tonight, and low tide at Trenton occurs at 12:54 p.m. So low water levels may continue to occur at times of low tide again during Saturday morning and again on Saturday night. For the coastal waters here, we have gale warnings and low water advisories. The gale warning remains in effect until noon today. Low water advisory until 2 p.m. this afternoon through 7 p.m. this evening. The Atlantic coastal waters of New Jersey and Delaware, west winds at 20 to 30 knots, gust up to 40 knots, and seas 5 to 8 feet. Water levels are expected to fall to near -2 feet near the lower water levels around the time of low tide this afternoon and this evening, and that occurs at Sandy Hook at 4:39, Atlantic City at 4:19, and low tide at Cape May at 4:40. Lewis, Delaware at 5:19 p.m. this evening. Also for the coastal waters here off of southern New York, here in Long Island, a storm warning now in effect until 6 p.m. this evening. Wind southwest 30 to 40 knots, frequent gust up to 50 knots, seas 11 to 16 feet. And this is a pretty hazardous situation out there. And of course, the wind advisory will continue until 1 p.m. this afternoon for southern Middlesex, southern New London, and southeastern Connecticut, Suffolk counties, and southeastern New York. Strong winds out of the southwest at 20 to 30 knots with gusts up to 50 miles per hour. And flight delay status, obviously with the ongoing snow, there's some arrival and departure delays at LaGuardia and JFK this morning as a result of the snow on the tarmac. On the aviational weather deck right now, currently we are in some limited IFR and IFR conditions across the northeastern New Jersey, New York City terminals, out towards Long Island, southern Connecticut as well, for ceilings less than 500 feet, visibilities less than a mile, obviously, with the ongoing snow. These conditions are improving across southeastern Pennsylvania, especially around Philadelphia, which is in VFR right now, and Newark is in basically limited IFR with visibilities being reduced in the snow. Right now, for the rest of today, VFR ceilings generally scattered out about 4,000 feet, except brief MVFR conditions and snow showers east of I-95 into New Jersey until around 10 o'clock or so. And then southwest winds become more west-southwest, gusts to 30 knots this afternoon, possibly up to 35 knots. And also, they could actually be a little higher than that, too. NAM model guidance might be a little bit underdone here. For tonight, VFR conditions in clear, gusts to 20 knots. Saturday through Sunday, VFR gusty west to northwest winds at 15 to 20 knots. And then VFR conditions overnight, Sunday night through Monday night, becoming MVFR to IFR Monday morning and continuing into Monday night. A period of wintry mix of rain, freezing rain, sleet possible on Monday before possibly changing over to snow on Monday night. Tuesday, mostly VFR, gusty winds again, strong winds early during the day on Tuesday. So it's a busy pattern indeed. Right now at Newark International, we've got 21, dew point 19, humidity 93%. The wind is southwest at 12, visibility a quarter mile with moderate snow, wind chill 9 degrees, and the conditions will be improving, but the winds will not. So there's going to be airport delays during this afternoon as the west to southwest winds increase in gusts during this afternoon and this evening. Right now in Philadelphia, we are in VFR at 27 degrees, dew point 14, humidity 58%, wind southwest at 20, and the visibility 8 miles, light snow, wind chill 13. Again, the story for the rest of today will be the strong gusty west to southwesterly winds. Morning passive visible satellite imagery this morning shows, as the satellite's passing overhead here, quite a bit of enhanced cloud cover, and obviously in the snow here across northeastern New Jersey, tapering off and waning towards the south and to the west. Most of the lifting now that was over this region earlier before dawn is now lifting into Connecticut, and that's where the moderate to heavy snow continues at this point. These grids aren't working here. This is the latest radar, and we can see the intensity of the snow band here getting a little bit more intense through Connecticut with where all of the lifting is occurring. And the front is still back to the west, so we do have another disturbance moving through, but this should minor out during the afternoon. It's weakening as it's already doing so. From New Jersey WeatherNet at Rutgers University here's our temperatures in the upper teens, and still across many interior sections right around the low 20s in the New Jersey, New York City metropolitan area and elsewhere. Wind chill temperatures right now, well, they're quite cold. They're still running anywhere from the single digits into the teens as the winds are definitely increasing. Current wind speeds are increasing to 10 to 15 miles per hour. The wind gust, that's what's increasing too, and these winds are becoming quite gusty, especially right along the coast and across southern Long Island this hour, which is obviously we don't have a database for this this region, but the winds are already increasing to 20 to 30 miles per hour this morning across eastern Long Island. Latest high-resolution rapid refresh model from 10Z this morning shows the precipitation exiting towards interior Connecticut and out towards Rhode Island and Massachusetts, and then a drying conditions with westerly to southwesterly winds during the afternoon as the cold front comes through. And then after the cold front comes through, just snow plumes here off of all the lakes, but down there should be a sinking air in this region, and as such the sinking air will outweigh any lifting here, so we're expecting mostly clearing skies during this afternoon and into tonight, but the winds will still be quite strong. As far as temperatures go, we're in the teens and lower 20s now. We'll probably break out into the lower 30s, upper 20s over interior sections early this afternoon. And then the cold Arctic air will once again invade with temperatures dropping back into the teens again during tonight into the low and mid 20s into urban and southeastern areas, especially coastal sections, teens everywhere else. And by tomorrow morning, again, we're in the cold dome with temperatures in the single digits and low to mid-teens over most of the New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia metropolitan area, low to mid-20s right along the south-facing coastlines here, or the eastern shores of Ocean down to Cape May, and then into the Delmarva region as well. Going to be a cold Arctic weekend again for the entire New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia metropolitan area as the snow moves through this morning and the front comes through. Snow plumes dying out with clearing skies rapidly across the region during this afternoon and tonight into tomorrow as temperatures tumble. We'll show you the temperatures in a moment. By the time we get to later Sunday, warm air advection over the top with a storm system developing to the south. We just have an increase of cloud cover here during the day on Sunday. Precipitation probably edging up from the coastline here during Monday afternoon. NAM WRF composite temperatures from Penn State's eWall site shows our 20s and 30s for today, then back down into the teens and lower 20s early tomorrow morning. And that continues into the late morning hours with teens mostly just about everywhere except the immediate coast. And then really cold air just pouring in on Saturday morning. Temperatures will be in the single digits to the teens just about everywhere. Probably just warm up in the afternoon, still remaining in the mid-teens to probably the upper teens according to the NAM, which is a little bit colder than the other model guidances right now, especially the HRR model. And then we go into Sunday and temperatures really just staying into the 20s to around 30 degrees. So it's definitely going to be a cold Arctic weekend. I do believe that next week is the week where the GFS gets upgraded. The parallel GFS becomes the operational GFS, and the old GFS that you're now looking at will be upgraded, and this original thing will go bye-bye. Hopefully we'll have improved conditions as they've been testing this now for at least a year or more. So it's been postponed a number of times, but it should become operational next week. We'll see about that. Anyway, here is our GFS forecast precipitation type for the next, the next week or so. We go through the period, high pressure, cold Arctic high pressure builds across the region. Just cold, thick, dense air mass in place. By the time we get to Monday, this is our increasing isentropic lift. The snow breaks out to the south and to the west. Rain develops along the coast. Could be a little bit of a wintry mix here by the afternoon with the northern reaches from 78, let's say, north, all in snow, with a mixture of sleet right around the city into the coastal sections and back down to Philadelphia by Monday afternoon. The main area of low pressure becomes a southern slider, moves a little bit too far to the east, and that moves out. More high pressure builds in. And still, over the next couple of days into next week and the following week, we see these high pressure ridges in the polar branch digging in, but they're transitory because of all the stuff that's going on in the stratosphere and also out in the Pacific. So it's keeping everything tugging along here in a natural stream flow. And as a result of that, it's keeping non-phasing systems and southern sliders as a result of this, so with a very little impact towards the northern mid-Atlantic. We see that happening again by Wednesday, and by the time we get to Thursday and Friday of next week, another disturbance in the northern stream passes well to the north and east into Canada. Another system on the southern stream here passes off as a southern slider well out to sea. Things get interesting the following week as we move through a cold weekend again with a little bit more moderation occurring on the southwest side here through the plains as we get into the third week or so of January. And then we're looking at another potential weather event here, a storm system cutting up towards the lakes on Wednesday the 21st and dragging a cold front through. We're warm sectored here, so it looks like all rain. Maybe snow on the back edge, doesn't look significant at all. Then a more high pressure builds in across the region. Thickness is lower once again to below average heights and below average temperatures for the third week here. And then high pressure again builds and over the northern mid-Atlantic, but continues to be transitory. We start out with a storm system here on Saturday night or Sunday, the 25th of January, starting out with a cold, dense air mass in place of snow on the northern side, rain and sleet on the southern side. And probably going to transition this. This could become a very interesting storm, but until that time, it looks like everything is going to be progressive. I'll be cutting another video at some point during today with the extended ideas and how we're doing with that and where winter has gone so far, because it's definitely not the winter that one would have anticipated in the forecast, but still there is time, so winter is definitely not over. For Garden State Weather and gardenstateweather.blogspot.com, I'm forecaster Robert Smith. You have a safe Friday and a good weekend. We'll be back with an extended video forecast discussion later. Everything is in live feed on both Twitter, Facebook, Google+, And of course, our websites, Garden State Weather and gardenstateweather.blogspot.com.